The age-old question. Is this new phone really worth it? An important question to ask, especially in this rocky mobile tech climate that has been shaken up by a certain, and I quote, flagship killer that comes at a much more affordable price. Well, folks, for the past 2 weeks, I've been using the Galaxy S25 Ultra, Samsung's latest, greatest, and priciest Ultra. And you are probably wondering, so has it changed enough to justify paying more for it? Or are some of those changes actually working against what you care about most? Well, by the time we're done here, you might not feel the way you think you do about this phone. Let's find out. Let's be real here. Most folks aren't upgrading their smartphones every year anymore. And honestly, I do not blame them one bit. Lately, it feels like some of the big leaps have turned into baby steps, especially if you are the type who does upgrade on a yearly basis. In fact, if early sales numbers mean anything, some of the usual early adopters aren't just skipping this guy here. They are upset about this phone, especially in light of what the OnePlus 13 is bringing to us and can do. But here's the thing. If you've been holding onto your phone for a while, resisting the urge to trade up, well, first off, good on you. Second, you might be in for a huge surprise because the Galaxy S25 Ultra just might be the one that finally makes an upgrade worth it again for you. At a glance, it looks a lot like its predecessor, and that's entirely by design. Samsung wants you to recognize a Galaxy from across the room. Strip away that familiar camera array, and suddenly this phone is anything but the same. Gone are the harsh, sharp edges of the predecessors. Instead, the S25 Ultra is all symmetry. Subtle curves where they matter, flat rails all around, although I still do find those edges to be much sharper than the corners found on the S24 Ultra. It's also nearly 2mm narrower, a fraction thinner, and a full 15 grams lighter than the S24 Ultra. And that might not sound like much, but trust me, there is a difference. The titanium unibody build is back, except Samsung ditches grade 2 titanium for grade 5, whatever that means. Also, we get Gorilla Armor 2 glass, which is even tougher than before. If you care about build quality, feel in the hand, and sheer ergonomics, the S25 Ultra seems to be winning hearts for many who actually picked up this phone and who did not enjoy the sharp corners found on the S24 Ultra. Up front here, we are greeted by the familiar dynamic AMOLED 2X display, a staple in Samsung's arsenal of fantastic screens. This phone takes it up a notch, stretching from 6.8 to 6.9 inches with bezels that are now 15% slimmer compared to its predecessor. It's shielded by Gorilla Armor 2 with cutting-edge DX anti-reflective coating, again, whatever that means, ensuring top-tier clarity. But even with all of that, one can't help but wonder why Samsung isn't pushing those boundaries even further, especially as we've seen OnePlus shaking up the market by setting new benchmarks in display technology. In the end, though, color accuracy and vibrancy are clearly still a priority for Samsung here because the display is it's just beautiful. On the back, we have those individual camera lenses that make up that camera module. At first glance, not much has changed. You can, however, notice that the rings around the camera lenses are thicker here, and they do pop more. The usual suspects are found here, power button, volume rocker, USB Type-C 3.2. We have mics around the phone here, along with the SIM card tray here at the bottom. And here's where we address the elephant in the room. the S Pen. Yes, the new model loses Bluetooth functionality, which means no more air gestures or using the S Pen as a remote shutter. Samsung claims only 1% of users actually cared. So if you are part of that 1%, you are going to be disappointed. But for everyone else, it's lighter, it still works with screen-off memos, and it's arguably a non-issue for many people out there. Now, under the hood is where things get interesting. On paper, RAM, storage, battery, and charging speeds look familiar, but don't be fooled by all of that. The new Snapdragon 8 Elite isn't just an upgrade. It's a whole new animal. We're talking next level efficiency, faster speeds, and a GPU that could give some laptops a run for their money. But Samsung didn't just stop there. The Snapdragon 8 Elite that is here is actually custom made. It's an overclocked Snapdragon 8 Elite, so made and tailor-made specifically for the S25 series. And this, by the way, is Samsung's first 3nm chip and the fastest silicon you will find on any smartphone. Config options, 12 or 16 gigs of RAM. Cooling, a vapor chamber that is now 40% larger. The result, 40% better neural processing, a CPU that's 37% faster, 30% stronger graphics, and 40% improved ray tracing for gaming, to those of you gamers out there. Translation, more power, longer battery life, and even smoother gameplay user experience, especially for those high-intensity, graphically demanding titles, right? If you push your phone to the limit, you will feel the difference. If you are just scrolling, through Instagram, probably not. But when it comes to raw performance, the Galaxy S25 Ultra here takes the crown. No question about that. As far as camera performance goes, the ultra-wide sensor is sharper and better at macro shots than before. But otherwise, the S25 Ultra's optics look nearly identical to last year's. And with that, the real difference really shows up more in the Samsung's new image processing. In daylight, the S25 Ultra delivers stunning shots and tends to lean into punchier blues and oranges. In low light, it captures more details, reduces exposure issues, and most importantly, processes shots faster. If you've ever missed a moment in life because your phone was taking too long, you probably know what I'm talking about. That shutter, when you hit it, you want it to go, and you want that go at your rhythm. Anyways, as far as videos go, this phone here is really on another level. Log video recording is a game changer here. Forget ProRes and massive file sizes. This is H.265, meaning you get high quality footage without chewing through storage. If you are a creator, this alone could make the upgrade worth it for you. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to software. The Galaxy S25 Ultra runs One UI 7 right out of the box, and it has exclusive AI tricks, at least for now. It handles a lot of things natively, anywhere from summarizing a website, toggle settings or automate tasks, along with other extra perks like the new Now Brief and Audio Eraser tools, which again makes a real difference for content creators. Now, as far as battery goes, jumping onto battery here, well, the story kind of remains the same, right? Pretty much the same stuff as what we saw last year, that same 5,000 milliamp hour battery with a few minor improvements, which honestly is a bit of a letdown, right? Because it's almost impossible to unsee that 6,000 milliamp hour battery that you have on the OnePlus 13 here, along with that gigantic vapor chamber that you have there. But either way, at least we have the Snapdragon 8 Elite here, which is super efficient. Charging speeds, yeah, not much new there either, right? Wired speeds are still capped at 45 watt, just like we saw with the S24 Ultra, but now it does support Qi 2. But here's the catch, there's no built-in MagSafe style magnet, so you would need, one of those magnetic cases in order to take full advantage of that. Now, look, I get it. This isn't the flashiest upgrade, at least not at first glance. You truly get to feel the power, speed and efficiency once you have it in hands and spend some time with it. If you haven't upgraded in a couple of years or more, well, this is definitely your next step. And that's of course if you were shopping for a flagship. The Galaxy S25 Ultra is a powerhouse that brings along a top-notch ecosystem and many other things. Now, as far as whether this is going to win Phone of the Year like its predecessor, I don't know. Competition is fierce out there, so we'll get to see. Anyways, I'm certainly hoping that this was informative. Let me know any questions you may have or any thoughts you may have on this review in the comment section. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. Make sure to like the video, make sure to share if you know anyone who will be interested, and of course, most importantly, make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I'm going to catch you in the comment section like I always do. I'm also going to catch you in the next video. Up until that next video, of course, as always, stay safe out there.